I can personally testify, like, hey, I've been there too, especially when I tell my students. But in accordance of what our program's theme is, Agents of Hope, as we're going out, as we're knocking on doors, we're reminding them that, hey, you guys have a mission. You know, you guys aren't just out here, just for the money. The money's good. It's always a blessing to have a little pocket change. But at the end of the day, every book you leave is a mustard seed. It's going to grow and grow in their hearts. Every time they look at that book, they're going to be like, hey, maybe let me go look at it. Or, hey, what is that book actually about? As agents of hope, we're spies for Jesus. We're going out clandestine, walking around the neighborhoods, knocking on the door, praying with people, answering, prayers or praying with people. And with that, to be an agent of hope, you have to have a certain skill set. You have to be able to camouflage. You have to be able to interpret and decipher information. You have to see something and act on it. You can't be a bad agent. You ever seen a bad movie, like a bad spy? You don't want to be one of those. We train you guys to, we train them to be good agents of hope and to interpret information and, just be the best agents of hope to be able to bring people into the church, bring people closer to God, because sometimes we have testimonies where they were in the right place, right time, and now, like, the person is now fully committed their life to God and committed to the church. So with that, I want to go into the book of Genesis. On Genesis 45. Waiting for my Bible to load. Should have brought my physical one, but here we are. Genesis 45, verse 1 through 8. This is just basically about interpretation. We're going to focus on the skill of interpretation today. So we've talked about the skill of camouflage before in our group, and just being able to be in the world but not of it. So you guys can let your people know that, hey, I'm with you guys, but I am here because of the Father. But now we're going to talk about interpreting things. So Genesis 45 is about the story of Joseph. I don't know if you guys know the story of Joseph. His brother sold him into slavery, things of that nature, everything like that. It's hot up here. I don't know. I'm sweating. I'm nervous. Sorry. But yeah. So this is towards the end of the story when Joseph finally is about to reveal himself. He gave them the trials, where he put the cup in the sack, all that, right? So Joseph says, then Joseph could no longer control himself before all his attendants, and he cried out, have everyone leave my presence. So there was no one with Joseph when he made himself known to his brothers, right? And he wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard him, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Is my father still living? But his brothers were not able to answer him because they were terrified at his presence. Now, sorry, sweating. So, Joseph, he went through everything. He's been sold into slavery. He forgave his brothers. He recognized his brothers immediately in the market. They came, they were down bad, they needed grain. They came to him, and he gave them grain, sold them grain, even though they were from a different nation. And he just recognized them, and he had forgiveness for them. But his brothers, they couldn't even bear the thought, like, hey, this is actually the brother we sold into slavery. They couldn't even speak to him. We've all been wrong before, there's a saying, like, if somebody does you wrong, they won't speak to you because they know they've done something wrong to you, so they won't say anything to you. So that's how we are interpreting that information. Thank you. Yes, I'm in. Thank you. I understand why preachers need these nowadays. Like, I don't know. It's the lights, probably. I don't know. We'll blame it on the lights. So, let's go back into the word. Then Joseph said to his brothers, come close to me. When they had done so, he said, I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now, do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. So with that one, there's two phrases in that one that are kind of contradictory. First, he says, you sold me, and then he says, God sent me, right? So there's the surface one where, you sold me, you did something wrong to me, But then there's a deeper thing that God sent you to do that, you know? So when we get rejections on the field, yeah, you rejected me, but God sent you to that house, to that place, that business, you know? God put you in that position as character development, right? Because without Joseph having been sold into slavery, would he have been able to do all the good that he did, right? So it's not about what has happened to you. It's about what is changing within you because of what happened to you, you know? Because people are going to do us wrong 24/7, you know? The world is not a wonderful place, you know? It has its bad sides, but we are the bright light in the darkness. So all the changes that come from all the bad things that happen to us, it's because God sent us, not because we were sold, not because we were betrayed, not because somebody, you know, spoke ill of us or anything like that. It's because God sent us. For 2 years now, there has been famine in the land, and for the next 5 years, there will be no plowing and reaping, but God sent me ahead of you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance. His brothers sold him into slavery. It turned out to his benefit, thanks to God. And in return, he was able to return not vengeance or, you know, be malicious to them. He gave them grain. He gave them advice. You know, he looked out for them. Even though they had sold him into slavery. If somebody sold you into slavery today, in 10 years, would you look at them and not want to, you know, like, you know, like, all right, well, you're going to be sold to, you know, you're going to be my servant now. You know, you want to get your vengeance. You're going to want to, you know, you're going to want to get payback. I don't know. I personally would, but, you know, that's why God is working on me. God is changing our hearts every time something bad happens. And in canvassing, we have to learn that lesson a lot. Because there's a lot of door-to-door things that you don't really get to see. Like, people think we exaggerate when we're saying, like, hey, I just got rejected, I got the door slammed on me, you know, you're getting called all kinds of names, things of that nature. And it's like, you're going to break down. It's 90 days of straight in the sun, going door to door. Hey, how you doing? My name is Wendell. Boom. Okay. That's it. That's as far as the conversation goes. Then you go all the way through your spiel, and they just close the door right after that. Or while you're talking to them, they're calling the cops. Right? It's just like, hey, my name is, you're like, yeah, come on, yeah. 2 seconds later, the cops come, and you're just like, what happened? He's like, oh, yeah, they're trespassing. It was like, okay, well, that was a waste of time, but, you know, okay. But all that is a building experience. All that is an experience for you to change. Because you're going to change your tactics. You're going to change how you speak to people. You're going to change the way you go about things. In life, when you get your heart broken, when people backstab you, things of that nature, it's not so that you can, you know, fall down and, you know, just stay down where you're at. It's so that you guys can turn to God and find out what lesson is supposed to be learned from this. I didn't prepare a lot to talk about, but that's what I had to say today. It's all about interpretation. It's not about what has happened. It's about how it can change you. And that was my word for today. Thank you.